Okay, well, I think we're going to get started here just because I think we want to give ourselves as much time as we can and we want to get started. So I'm Susan Richmond and I teach AP US History and I'm also the overall AP coordinator. I think I know everybody here. So if they all say they've been in my class, well, I chose the students. And so what we wanted to focus on today, we all know that you probably, hopefully got good academic preparation from your AP courses, and you can certainly discuss that. But we also wanted to hear about, was there any community building, such as Mrs. Gonzalez talked about in her keynote address, if you got to hear that today, or were there some ways that you could form friendships, relationships, talking about academic things, but also talking about other things, getting to know people in various ways beyond what you might have been able to do if you weren't taking an AP class with us. And if any of you have had chances to actually meet some of your fellow students, real time, face to face, share about that. And we're gonna get ready to go. I'll jump in every now and then, or maybe especially at the end if we have some more time to share some of my perspectives, but I don't wanna take up time, but just know that a lot of our classes, it really is part of our philosophy as a program that we think of the students as individuals, we care about you as individuals, we want you to be able to interact with others. We know that sometimes as homeschool kids who have maybe high academic goals, that you might not find other kids right in your area who share those goals or interests or passions that you might have. And it can be really nice to meet other kids from other parts of the country or other parts of the world who you can get to know and share with and feel a part of a larger community. And, oh good, we got more people coming in. Good, we're up to 30 participants. Okay, so I'm gonna turn it right over. I have an order of students here, and if any students haven't come yet, we'll just skip to the next one. But first is going to be Patience Parrott. She's over here in the low lighting. And Patience, take it away. So they're going to tell us who they are. You're each going to tell who you are, maybe basically where you live, and what AP courses you've taken, and then expound a little bit. You can go on for several minutes. Okay? Patience.
Okay, hey guys, I'm Patience. I guess I'm first. I wrote down some stuff to say here so I don't ramble too much, but I wrote down a lot, so prepare yourselves. I'm a junior from Maryland, and I've been homeschooled my entire life. I've taken a couple courses with AP homeschoolers. Let's see, here we go. I had to write this down because it's hard to recall off the top of my head. Freshman year, I took AP Human Geography. My sophomore year, I took AP US History, which Mrs. Richmond teaches, and AP Gov. And now it's my junior year, and I'm taking AP Lang with Mrs. Dean and AP Psych with Mrs. Gonzalez, who's right here. Yeah, there are a lot of benefits of PA homeschoolers, so I just wrote down like the ones that like automatically came to me. We have a really strong community, and I think that's something that like I personally really value, because if you have a project you're working really late on, I can just be like, hey guys, let's all work together. And so like we can all hop on webcam and just like sit there and work together. We can all kind of like feel each other. We're like, we're doing this together. It just feels like you're all in it together. As opposed to a lot of other online classes I've had, and I don't mean to bash here, it just feels like you're doing it by yourself. And a lot of the times that's really discouraging. But in PA homeschoolers, there's like this strong emphasis on like, you're all working towards the AP exam together, you're doing your assignments together, it's like a thing. Yeah, most of the people here are mostly motivated, so when you get a group project, it's like a fun thing as opposed to like,
oh no.
Yeah. People are thoughtful and kind. If you need help, then they're there to help you. They just like one time I was having a hard time back in a couple months ago, and I was just like, I need prayer on the prayer chat. We have one of those, pretty cool. And everyone like automatically, I was just like dive bombed by 5 people who were like, how can we help? And it was just really nice. It's a really nice experience. Yeah, people are social. They know how to have fun. It's not just all academics. I throw parties sometimes where we like study and have fun. It's really great. Yeah. Another thing that's really cool is Mrs. Richmond right over here. She really cares about you. And I think that's what really makes this unique, because you can really just tell her anything. She's just great. Sorry to put you on the spot there. But you can tell that she really cares about like her students and this whole program, and it's just really great. She wants you to succeed, and that's something that I think is really great. Yeah, let's see. Okay, so
Okay.
wrote down some leadership opportunities here. The TAing, of course, that has been a great leadership opportunity for me personally, and for anyone else who TAs, I'm sure, because you get to try out. I've hosted like my APUSH parties, studying things. I got to try out some of the techniques I've learned in other classes, like in AP Psych, I've held my therapy sessions where we just like basically talk about it and we go over some like basics of therapy. Yeah, you get to collaborate with the other TAs and just, yeah, get to know the kids in your class. And I think that's a really great opportunity to see what leadership means, especially for me. Yeah. So the AP party, they host an AP party once a year. It's very fun, dancing, lots of food. And it's kind of cool to see everyone in person. Like at first when I got there, I was like, oh, you're real, it's not through a screen. So I would like go off and like randomly body check people. It was funny. It happened. I was like, I can't believe you're real. Yeah, it just happens. It was very good to see them all there, and you can just kind of interact and like really get to know them. Yeah. There is one thing I don't like about PA homeschoolers though, and that's that people have to graduate. It's a lot of my friends are
We could
graduating.
arrange to hold you all back. It's all right.
You can all stay here forever. A lot of my friends are graduating this year, and so that's kind of like weird because I feel like with PA homeschoolers, like we really all sort of like built a story together. And I know that sounds like really patient, so you're gonna start singing the High School Musical song, but like you feel like you get to know these people really deeply, and you like watch them go through so much, and you've gone through so much with them. And then like when the idea that they're graduating, that's just like, oh, it's just weird. You just build such a strong connection. Anyway, PA homeschoolers, AP homeschoolers, yeah, it's just a really great place to build a story for yourself and just discover leadership and community. It's just a wonderful, wonderful place, and I strongly recommend it.
Thank you, Patience. Okay, next was going to be Ashlyn, but she's not here yet. So we're going to move right on to Joseph Wong. And take it away, Joseph.
So, hello, I'm Joseph Wong, and I actually am graduated from high school now, but I took a lot of classes with PA back in the day. So I'm currently a freshman at LeTourneau University. I'm studying mechanical engineering, and I was homeschooled from 7th to 12th grade. I actually grew up in China. I grew up in China, and then I'm currently back with my family in Dallas because of coronavirus. So that's, yeah, honestly, it feels like I'm homeschooling all over again. It was an interesting experience. Yeah, it's like kind of nice, kind of weird. I thought it was over with this.
We're just pulling you back.
Pretty much. Let's see. So when I was in high school, I took AP English. All these classes were with PA homeschools. I took AP English, AP Statistics. I took admissions essay workshop, and I took, of course, AP US History with Mrs. Richmond. And yeah, definitely take that class. But anyhow, I really enjoyed the interaction. Like Patience was saying, just like being able to interact with other classmates. I was really surprised upon taking my first class, like the level of community there was, because I was used to textbook, just reading from a textbook, doing problems, or some classes which were live calls, but it would just be the teacher speaking and everyone else would have their mic muted, just listening for an hour and a half. And the amount of interaction with PA homeschoolers was incredible. Plus, I love the competition aspect. I loved like competing with other students. That was really motivating for me. One thing I really enjoyed was having study buddies. On AP US History, I would study buddies with a guy named David Brodsky, really amazing student, really amazing friend. And so we would call every week. We would do multiple choice questions. We would talk about AP US History and get points and be competitive. And so I developed a really great friendship with him. And that spring, I was traveling around the US visiting colleges. I went to New York City, and he lives right outside of New York City. So I was able to meet up with him, and we walked around the city for a while. It was really cool to talk with him. I watched him play at a chess competition. And then I ended up coming back to New York City that year because I won second place in the Civil War essay contest, which was very incredible experience, really fun. And so then I got to see Mrs. Richmond, which made it 10 times better. But I also got to see David Brodsky again, which is really great. So it was a really cool experience to be able to meet students, talk with them, make friends, and then to actually see them in person. And that's something I'd recommend to do. I never went to the AP party, unfortunately, but I'm sure that would be
I think
amazing.
from China, it's a little hard, but
Yeah.
right.
That's really all I have to share.
Okay, great. Thank you, Joseph. I'm so glad you could come. Next online, we have Molly Hardwick. So Molly,
Hey.
take it away.
Hi guys, I'm Molly Hardwick. I live in South Carolina. I'm in 10th grade this year. I've been homeschooled since 2nd grade. Last year I took AP US History with Mrs. Richmond, and this year I'm in AP English Language with Mrs. Inspector, as well as Intro to Computer Science with Mrs. Lang. Pennsylvania Homeschoolers has been an incredible experience for me, academically of course, as well as socially. PH classes are unique in that they foster class-wide interaction, just like Joseph and Patience talked about. That's not something that is normal, I guess, in the homeschooling world, at least what I had done before, especially with online classes. So it was just really cool to have both students and teaching assistants to interact with them, asking questions, having both fun conversations about silly things and then also about school stuff. In both APUSH and AP Lang, the students are divided into groups of 6 to 8 at the beginning of the year. Those groups are so valuable when you're coming into a class where you don't know any of the other students, just because it gives you like a springboard, I guess, to then get to know all the other people in the class. So in APUSH last year, several of the teaching assistants hosted live study sessions on Skype, and then those group chats morphed into class-wide groups for both academic and fun conversations. We started an informal debate group, and we discussed everything from politics to whether or not a hot dog is a sandwich. So through those group chats and the study sessions, I formed just incredible friendships with the people both in my class and in other AP classes. This year, I'm a teaching assistant for APUSH, and it's been a really great leadership opportunity as well, getting to answer questions of students, helping them with essays and other coursework. I attended the AP party at the Richmond Farm last year, and that was so much fun, like highlight of my year for sure. Like Patience said, getting to meet everyone and be like, wow, like you're not just a bust, like a profile, like wow, you have a body.
I kind of think people should like wear pasted onto their face their icon photo they used to use. That's how we know you.
I know. Yes, it was crazy, but it was so much fun getting to meet everyone and just hang out for a weekend. And there was a really cool thing. So at the party, I stayed in a room in the attic with about 8 other girls. I only knew a couple of them, but one of them ended up being one of the Lang TAs for this year. So it was really cool at the beginning of this year to make that connection with her and come into the class knowing quite a few students and teaching assistants. Great. So yeah, that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next, Stephen Treadle.
So first off, I think a lot of everything that I would say has already been said. This community that we have in PA Homeschoolers is amazing. I've never really had another class like that with such like an intense friendship. I've some of the friends I've met and made last year are some of my best friends now, and that includes many of you guys on that chat. I know almost all of you guys, or at least have seen you in classes, and hope to see you for those of you I don't know in future classes. But yeah, so yeah, this entire thing is amazing. I've taken classes where there is no community. Those classes are horrible, and it's like it's not fun because you don't have that experience of learning together and growing together. And all of the AP classes I've taken have that, where you get to grow together, you get to spend time together, you get to really get to know these people. And it's amazing. Also, the teachers are amazing as well. They are just great. Mrs. Richmond, Dr. Richmond. I want to take your class next year, Mrs. Gonzalez, so I will. I can't say anything yet, but you know, I'm sure you're amazing too. But yeah, it's
great.
But yeah, this it's funny how, like, and this is I mentioned earlier that my nickname is Slushy, and now that's something that's a bit you usually don't get too many nicknames with people you meet in under a year, but in 1 year I ended up getting a nickname, and just this crazy, like, I was in a video call in APUSH, we were learning, and one of my I forget what it was, but I told someone to shushy, but she thought I said slushy and started calling me that. It's like, it's that familiarity with each other that you just get. Yes, it was Grace Viratonga, who is amazing and insane, and I wish she could be here too. Also, yeah, we have our own, like, vocabulary, our language, and like, it was so easy to join this community when I joined last year. Like, they integrate you in so, like, quickly. It's like you feel right at home, and yeah, it's so positive, and it's always so amazing. So yeah, this entire thing is just great. Thanks.
Okay, great. Okay, moving right along. Now going to Maya Powell. Tell us where you live for sure, Maya.
Hi, I'm Maya. I'm 17 years old, a senior in high school. I've been homeschooled since preschool, and I live in Ukraine. I've taken classes from PA Homeschoolers now for 2 years. Last year, I took AP English Literature and Calculus AB, and this year I'm taking U.S. History, Calculus BC, Physics, and U.S. History. If I'm looking down a lot, it's because I have notes. So, Pennsylvania Homeschoolers, it's such a great community. The teachers are so nice and so helpful. Lots of people have mentioned that the teachers really care, and they really do. Like Mrs. Richmond, in all of her update messages, she always posts little things at the end, like self-care, make sure you exercise, make sure you're getting enough sleep. Like, she doesn't want you staying up all night, every night, to do your AP US history work. Like, she'll work with you if you have problems or need an extension, and she's always so generous with her extensions. My classmates are great. If I have questions, the TAs and the classmates, they always get it answered in less than a day. I get lots of helpful comments on my essays always, and just the community outside of class is just so great. We have so many group chats, and last year when I came in, I'm a little bit of a shy person, and so I don't text that much, but I always feel immediately included, and everyone's just so nice. And we have all kinds of fun things that we're constantly doing stuff. The TAs for APS history are constantly putting on movie nights or Jeopardy or study groups. And it's just so, the community is amazing in Pennsylvania Homeschoolers. I haven't done any other online classes, so I really can't vouch for them, but it's so weird when you've been your entire life, you've had no classmates, and then all of a sudden you've got like 50. About leadership positions, I'm currently a TA for AP Lit, and not only is it an amazing opportunity to put on a college transcript, it looks great, but also it's so fun to come back to a class that you loved in this like new role where you can mentor other kids kind of, and help them enjoy the class as much as your TAs helped you enjoy it last year. And yeah, if we're talking about just the people in this call, friends, I've been in multiple book clubs with Molly. I'm a TA with Ashlyn, who I don't think is here yet, and I'm a beta reader for Patience's book. So just people in this class I've had, and I mean in this chat, Zoom video thing, I've talked to them, had fun with them. It's just best teachers, best students all around.
Great. Thank you. That was great. And next we're moving on to Bethany Durkin. Okay, Bethany, take it away. There we go.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Bethany. I'm 17 years old and I'm a junior. I live in SoCal and have been homeschooled since first grade. I took my first AP class last year with Mrs. Richmond in AP US History. And this year I'm taking AP English Language, AP European History, and AP Calculus AB with Pennsylvania homeschoolers. So one of the coolest thing about the APs is the support that you get from the students and from the teachers. I love the community in APUSH. There were so many opportunities to connect with people, like a lot. The online study groups that I organized or took part of were really helpful, and it was also super fun, you know, to goof off with people as well. Like, for example, I was really struggling with the multiple choice questions like that were weekly. And so I reached out to Patience and asked her if she could, you know, tackle them with me. And that helped so much. It helped to know that there was someone who, you know, could cry with you when you got the answers wrong, but also to, you know, help you get them right and stuff like that. So that was super helpful and fun. And some of the other activities that were my favorite was Jeopardy, the dinner parties, and movie nights. And having classmates also helped me learn a lot more than if I was just trying to absorb a textbook. Like when I read other students' essays, I'm able to, you know, take in the information and also, you know, study better writing techniques to help me write better. And then another really cool thing is the support that you can get, because if I'm freaking about like freaking out about my AP Euro class and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't think I know the material and I'm just stressing out, then it helps so much when Mrs. Noah is like, you know what, I'm confident in your guys' ability to get a 5. I'm gonna prepare you and we're gonna review and it's gonna be great. And then I'm like, okay, we got this. And you know, it just helps so much to know that she has confidence in us as students. And then having classmates is also a really great way to get and give support, because it helps so much to know that there are students who are also, you know, kind of nervous, but they're willing to put in the work like you, and, you know, they're working towards getting that grade. And that was one of the really encouraging things.
Great.
And then also there was the really fun aspect of community, which is, as everyone mentions, all the chats and the goofing off that occurred and still does occur. But one thing that really made me think was how diverse Pennsylvania homeschoolers can be. Like the people I meet in person, like my friends, you know, they're like-minded. We come from the same background and, you know, we agree on stuff. Well, you know, in Pennsylvania homeschoolers, not everyone agrees. And that's actually one of the really great things, because you can have discussions and debates, and it really helps to see how other people look at things, people who have completely different backgrounds and think totally different. And so, yeah, that's why I love taking AP classes, because they make it fun, they make it competitive, and they can have a wonderful impact, just the students and the teachers, even outside of school. And so, yeah, that's what's really fun. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. And next is Justin Peterson. There he is.
Hello, I'm Justin. Yeah, I'm living in Indiana right now. I'm a high school senior. My freshman year, I did environmental science. Then next year was calculate. I've taken some classes. I don't.
He's taken a lot. He can't.
I've taken a fair amount. Yeah. I've loved all my classes. What I'd say is like my first 2 years, I didn't really join many like groups, like chat groups or anything for the classes I was in. And then for the last 2 years, I have been doing that, and it is a lot more fun when you're in chat groups. Yeah, a lot has already been said, but the AP party is like the best thing ever. I've been going to it, I think, if it happens this year, it'll be my 7th year going. And like every year it's been like the highlight of my year. It's absolutely amazing because you get to meet people, and like you meet classmates you've met before or classmates you've known for a while. It's just a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and
it's fun.
yeah,
We hope, by
Yes.
the way, we hope we may be able to hold the AP party in the summer in late July. Word will be coming out. We hope. I mean, it's tentative. Who knows what the quarantine rules will be at that point? But we are looking hopefully to holding it later on, because we have to have that one more square dance, one more swing dance, one more graduation ceremony, especially for Justin, who's been coming since he was in 8th grade. So. Okay, let's see, moving right along. Thank you, Justin. Catherine London.
Hello, everyone.
Hey there.
I'm a sophomore in Pennsylvania, and I'm taking APUSH with Mrs. Richmond. Although this is my first year of homeschooling with Pennsylvania homeschoolers online classes, I've truly grown in so many ways. Over approximately the past 6 months, I myself have seen a major improvement in not only my writing abilities, but also my abilities in studying. Studying with other kids in my class has really helped me feel more supported and encouraged me to do better. I do not really feel any loss of friends while I'm homeschooled, because I feel the support of all the students in the Pennsylvania homeschoolers classes. Through Skype, I have come to know pretty well a lot of Pennsylvania homeschoolers. Not only can I be assured of getting a response within the hour to any question I may ask, but I can also debate controversial topics, ask for prayers, or just discuss how my day has been. I find it really fascinating that not only do I come to know students from all across my country, but even across the world. I have enjoyed talking to the Pennsylvania homeschoolers community on Skype, but I enjoy it even more when we have a meeting together where we use our cameras and videos. Then I can see my friends and we can build better relationships. Sometimes in my APUSH class, our TAs have organized huge study parties where we don't only study all together, but we'll have fun games related to the period we're studying. For example, one time we had a battle where we had to pick 3 characters from history who we knew well, because then they would each have to fight against each other's person's character in a different situation. For example, one of my characters, Harriet Tubman, won in a rap battle against Hitler, while another of my characters, Abraham Lincoln, lost in a pool noodle fight. Perhaps one of my favorite moments this year with my friends from Pennsylvania homeschoolers was when about 6 of us met up in Washington, D.C. for the annual March for Life. Although I had always known they were my friends across Skype and I knew what they looked like, I had always wanted to visit them in person. This was a key event for me. I hope to see many more of my fellow Pennsylvania homeschoolers in the future. Above all, I have loved the fact that the teachers of Pennsylvania homeschoolers respond to my emails rather quickly. This is incredibly helpful. If I have a question on a last-minute assignment, I can rest assured that my teacher will respond within the day, as long as I have sent my email within reasonable work hours. Not only do my teachers respond quickly to my emails, but they also grade the work quickly for the size of class they teach. They give encouraging feedback to my work and very useful pointers as to how I can improve. This year of homeschooling with Pennsylvania homeschoolers has boosted my confidence in all my schoolwork. I have been so pleased to be educated by them, because I feel I will get a secure education and a larger store of knowledge which will stay with me for a long time. I look forward to taking more classes with them next year.
Thank you. Okay, moving right along to Peter Reisner.
Hi, so my name is Peter Reisner, and I am a junior in Colorado. I have taken a variety of classes from Pennsylvania homeschoolers, including AP History, AP US Government, AP Economics, AP Computer Science Principles, and more that I'm probably not thinking of at the moment. It is really interesting to see throughout the classes a variety of different engaging ways. For example, in the AP Macroeconomics class, we did a variety of different interactive games where we played against other students in a variety of simulations in an attempt to either your business or improve your country through economic policy. I also made a lot of friends with similar interests and had discussions out of class with them on either the work or off-topic subjects. In addition, a lot of activities are impossible really to replicate at home. For example, in the AP History, we do dinner parties, which is when you are a historical figure and you discuss you have a dinner party with other historical figures from that period about and discuss various issues and be in the time period. there's also a great sense of community. Instead of while there are AP classes elsewhere that are self-paced, there's really not the same. There's no other people working on it. You cannot see their work. You really don't have the same drive to work on it. In addition, it's really great to see how other students approach assignments and see their opinions. It really gives a benchmark to work off of. For example, in AP History, we can see all of the other essays that students write for their long essay questions and discussion board questions. And this really helps to provide a benchmark and also see what other people are doing and learn from their work. I found these classes to be really awesome and really interactive and really useful to engage with other people and engage in both in discussion and through learning, both in class and out of class.
Great, thank you. And next we've got Katie Beth Tedder. And
hello,
take
everyone.
it away.
My name is Catherine. I also go by Katie Beth Tedder. I'm from Jacksonville, Florida. So yes, it's very hot here. I've only seen snow once. And I am actually, I've only taken one class with Pennsylvania Homeschoolers so far, and that's with Ms. Richmond's APUSH class. And this year I am a teaching assistant as a senior in high school. So it has been one of the, honestly, biggest blessings of my senior year. And I think it will continue to prove to be a big blessing. Because I've had the amazing opportunity to work with students one-on-one pretty much every single day. I am actually a writing TA, so I specifically help students with their essays and improving their writing, and it's actually given me a lot of opportunities outside of the classroom. It's allowed me to get a job working for Fiveable. I also want to go into education someday, so this has really helped me to learn more about that field, but also just to practice working with other students and tutoring them. I would say back in my junior year of high school, when I was in APUSH with Ms. Richmond, one of the biggest things that stood out to me was how detailed Ms. Richmond was in grading all of our work. And that was something that I really appreciated, because I not only went to public school for 2 years, but I've been in several online classes, and I've always been disappointed with the lack of effort that teachers put into, helping students on their assignments and providing feedback. And I can say that not only did I get feedback from Ms. Richmond, I got feedback from all the other students. And I think, like Peter was saying before, you have the opportunity to read others' work, and it's encouraging, and it's also motivating and a little bit scary at the same time, because you want to do your best to keep up with the rest of the class and earn points. But it definitely gives a new perspective. It's amazing to meet people from all over the world. I've made some incredible friendships, especially the past few weeks, on Skype chats, discussing AP chemistry questions, or talking about personality types and music and things like that. So it's a good way to socialize as a homeschooler when you otherwise have no friends. And anyway, I am so very blessed to have been given the opportunity to take a class with Ms. Richmond. She's made a huge impact on my life, and I would highly recommend anything from Pennsylvania Homeschoolers to any high school student looking for something rigorous, but also something that's going to be meaningful, because every second is meaningful. It's not busy work. It's not just piling it on. Everything that is done with a purpose, and it's done to be fun. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And next we have Abigail Cannon.
Hello, I'm Abigail Cannon, and I'm a 17-year-old senior. All my AP courses, I did AP World in freshman year, APUSH and AP Lang in sophomore year, AP Lit and Human Geography in junior year, and this year I'm doing Environmental Science and Psychology with Mrs. Gonzalez. I started homeschooling in first grade. And while I've made, some amazing connections and communities through my 12 years of being homeschooled, I don't think that I seriously made, lifelong connections until high school, when I started doing these PA homeschoolers courses. My sister, for background information, she's 2 years older than me, and she took some classes in high school before I did. So I knew that PA homeschoolers was a thing, but I just hadn't taken any courses yet. And we were both invited to the Richmond's AP party in May of 2016, I believe was when we first came. And this was before I had taken any classes yet. And even though I was nervous and probably a little bit awkward, I made a really good friend with a girl whose name was Sylvia, or it is still, Sylvia Riddell. And I actually end up still talking to her, and she's in psychology with me, with Mrs. Gonzalez.
Aw.
And we're still in contact, and we talk constantly. And I also met Peter that year, who is in this call. And we did a push together, and we're TAs together, and we talk now. Obviously, we're on the same call, so I would hope that we still talk now. And this was still all before I had taken any classes with these with PA homeschoolers. So for the years after that, I've taken all the classes I've mentioned, and for each and every one, I can think of at least one interaction with another student or a TA that sticks out to me as being really, enriching and helpful to my growth as a student. Discussing in AP World in my first year, which invention was more impactful on the world, the paper or the compass. Study buddying in APUSH, Peter was my study buddy. Doing group projects in Lang, Lit, psychology, and especially being a TA in APUSH and psychology, Lang last year, where I got to had to have the chance to meet all the next generation of students who were doing the classes that I had just taken, and really formulate my own ideas for ways to get them involved and to share my knowledge. And this put together with the AP parties at the end of each year, where I got to meet these people face to face, which obviously doesn't happen much for homeschoolers, meeting each other. It just, leads me to the conclusion that PA homeschoolers is just really, really good at bringing people together and making connections and forming communities. They're just really good at it. And this is so valuable because high school for me would not be complete without these friendships that I've made at that first AP party and carried with me this entire way through. And, every year I meet new people and make new friends, and it just gives me a new perspective on life that I'm just so glad to have the privilege to have. And finally, one last note, the fact that every single person in this comment section has been sending a message afterwards saying, congratulations, good job to each other. That really just tells you all you need to know about, how close we are as an entire community.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And next, Avery Scott.
Yes. Hi, everyone. So I'm a senior in high school. I'm from New York, and I have, like many of you have said, been homeschooled my whole life. And for the last 2 years, I've been taking classes with Pennsylvania homeschoolers. Last year, I took APUSH with Susan Richmond. This year I'm doing AP European History and AP English Literature with Mrs. Inspector. Like some of you have said, I think we've covered most of the bases, but I guess I'll elaborate a little bit. I think one of the things that's kind of unique about Pennsylvania homeschoolers classes, not only is there a lot of student interaction, which I have found to be lacking in a lot of online classes, so much of that student interaction is really organized and spearheaded by us. We're not forced together by any teachers to become friends. We really kind of do it all ourselves. A lot of you have mentioned the famous or perhaps infamous Skype group chats, of which there are too many to count. One of you mentioned the debate group. Last year in APUSH, we had a weekly debate group, and I think the first time we did it, we discussed what is the role of monuments to Confederate leaders in modern society. So we were often doing things that were related to the AP US History curriculum. At one point, we had an APUSH student government. I don't know whose idea this was, but it was magnificent. I never thought in high school I would have the opportunity to, overthrow a communist dictatorship, but I was tasked with that at one point. Some of you were involved in that, actually. That support and community is also, I think, reflected in the classes very well. There's a lot of, responding to each other's essays and dialoguing about assignments and stuff. And everyone, in my experience at least, has been 100% supportive and helpful. I remember maybe not so much this year, but certainly last year, there was a lot of like, sending each other like this essay's due next week. Can you proofread it and tell me what you think? And we were all doing that all the time for each other. And I think some of those relationships that we've all been talking about have extended beyond just the Pennsylvania, just the classes and the infamous group chats. A friend of mine in Pennsylvania homeschoolers, actually last year in my in-person homeschooling community, I was working on a theater project, and she volunteered to remotely design the costumes. So she emailed me like a whole stack of costume designs, which we then used for a production. So, all of these things I think are really unique to Pennsylvania homeschoolers. I've never found anything even close to that level of community in any other online, offerer of classes.
Oh, thank you very much. Great, you're all sharing such moving stories. I feel like, wow, where is this program? I want to join. And next we're going to hear from Katie Cruz. Katie.
Hi, my name's Katie Cruz. I'm 18 years old, a senior in high school, and I am from Batesville, Arkansas, which is kind of the middle of nowhere compared to a lot of my classmates. So I've taken a lot of college classes at our local liberal arts college, and a lot of kids have compared this class to other online classes. So I just want to compare Pennsylvania homeschoolers classes to actual live classes. And I would say a unique aspect of these classes is that your peers are so, I don't know the right word, like smart and advanced and very impressive. I would say on average, when I chat with people like on all these Skype group chats, usually their SAT scores are like above 1,500. And then they talk about all these impressive extracurriculars they're doing, like science research. They have big piano performances they're going to. And so a lot of these kids are super, super impressive. They end up going to like Stanford, Harvard, Yale, places like that. And so for me, I'm definitely wouldn't consider myself one of those people. So it can definitely feel like you're being left behind. But I would say, if you take a class of Pennsylvania homeschoolers, don't feel like you're being left behind, because you're absolutely not. And definitely reach out to those people and become friends with them, because they are super kind and friendly, and they're always willing to help. And for me, those classmates have given me a lot of motivation to just work harder. They've taught me a lot of time management strategies. And honestly, some of them have given me a lot of emotional support. So like if you have a death in the family, you break up with your boyfriend, like you can talk about those things with your Skype friends. It's really awesome and special. But to compare it with a college class, I would say every class I've taken on Pennsylvania homeschoolers is way harder than a college class. Yeah, it's a lot harder. And yeah, it is helpful to have like a professor in person, because you can just go to their office hour and be like, okay, so we have this test coming up. What do you expect? That's helpful. But another issue with online classes may be like finding things. Sometimes there's a lot of different files and it becomes confusing and it's overwhelming. And yeah, Mrs. Richmond's emails can be a little overwhelming. They're amazing, but there's so much information, so much you can dive into. And I think a college class it makes it a little more specific. It's like, here's what you have to do, and that's all you have to do. That's it. It's, yeah, very rigid. And then we've talked a lot about the Skype group chats. Just to name a few specific ones, like when I was in APUSH, we had APUSH announcements. So TAs might come in there and be like, hey guys, we have a big essay due this coming week, just letting you know. So that was helpful. We have an APUSH writing help Skype group chat. So you can put your essays in there, or like you can send your resume that you're working on for college. You can put anything in there. It doesn't even have to be APUSH related. If you just want writing help, you can reach out. And then we have Insanity, which is what it sounds like. It's Insanity. And as far as the classes I've taken with Pennsylvania homeschoolers, I've taken AP US History last year. And then this year I'm taking AP Calculus AB and AP Computer Science A. I would say that APUSH is definitely the most social class. It's a lot of fun. And AP Computer Science, it's been really helpful to have Skype for that because I can just go onto the big AP Computer Science group chat and be like, hey guys, anybody available to help me with some code right now? And usually within like a minute, someone will be like, yeah, sure. Do you want to have a call or just like send me a screenshot? And then I can share my screen and we can work through the code together. As far as AP Calculus, that's been a little more difficult. There's not as much social interaction in that class. It takes a lot of discipline. But I think that's something helpful about having these great classmates in Pennsylvania homeschoolers is they are all super disciplined. So if you're not, you can reach out to one of them and they will motivate you. They'll give you time management strategies and just give you all kinds of support. So
okay.
Yeah, I think that's about all I've got to say.
I'm gonna cut you off just because we're gonna end on time and we've got two more kids. We've got Peter and then Charity. So Peter, 2 minutes. Peter Wolf.
I'm Peter Wolf. I'm a senior from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I've taken 12 AP courses. As a freshman, I did AP US Government and AP European History. As a sophomore, I did AP Literature, AP Macroeconomics, and AP US History with Mrs. Richmond. And as a junior, I did AP Language, AP Micro, and AP Calculus AB. And as a senior this year, I am taking AP Calculus BC, AP Physics 1, AP World History, and AP Comparative Government. So a lot of what I wanted to say has already been said, so I'll be brief. But there are really two things I wanted to talk about. First, the community. When you enter into the classroom, it's very unique. It's very welcoming. And if you ever have the opportunity to take US history with Mrs. Richmond, it really is just an adventure of itself. She is so kind and thoughtful, and she really does grade all of your essays just very, very well. And she gives you very specific feedback, which is really helpful to all of us. And really with any AP class I've taken through PA homeschoolers, there's this very unique community bond, whether it's, economics or history, there's this kind of camaraderie that you form with your classmates. Like we're all undergoing some great challenge and learning. And it really is a challenge that's better met with other people. And then the second thing that I'll quickly say is just the friendships. I mean, I made so many friendships in classes. Abigail was my study buddy. We learned a lot, and that really helped foster our friendship. Then at the AP party, it was just a magnificent experience, meeting the people that you've been working with over the last year, to learn and grow in your knowledge of a specific subject area. It's such a unique experience, whether it's the hike or the amazing bonfire or the dancing, it's one of a kind. I didn't have a co-op near me. So PA Homeschoolers was really able to help me overcome, not having a co-op near me. So I'm really, really appreciative towards Mrs. Richmond and everything that she's done.
Okay, thank you so much. And Charity, you're our last one, our caboose. Okay, unmute. Okay, good. Oh, wait, we're not hearing you. I'm not hearing you, Charity. I know you're not muted, but I'm not hearing you.
I'm not hearing you at all. There you are.
Say something. Oh.
No. Mm-mm.
Oh, no.
No, I'm not hearing her at all.
Patience, run down and find out what's her problem. Run up to Patience's computer. They're sisters. We'll see. We hope they get together because we are going to have to cut off soon. Okay. Okay, now unmute. There we go.
Here I am.
Good.
So my name is Charity. I'm Patience's sister, as you all can see. And I am 15. I'm a sophomore in high school. And I've taken AP US History with Mrs. Richmond, AP Microeconomics with Mr. Burns, Macroeconomics with Mr. Richmond, and then AP Chemistry with Mr. Muskaluk. And I love this community because the teachers really care. The first week I joined in from AP US History, I was very overwhelmed with the work, but Mrs. Richmond had this very enthusiastic full of woos and inspirational quotes in our email. And just the community of having teams. We had teams in AP US History, divided into like 8 people. And it was just nice to hop in and have people who were instantly there to support you. You know, I was with Owen and Raya and Patience. I don't think I was with Molly, but a lot of really good people. And we all just instantly connected. We all had these things to talk about. We all supported each other's assignments. And I just think the community and the teachers and the classes are really great. I self-studied for AP Biology with a community college class, and it was not the same. If I could go back and do it, I would redo it with a PA homeschoolers class. I just felt so much more prepared, and I had all these friends who were willing to root for me for the AP exam. We would share tips, we would share assignments. Just the community is amazing. And then the other big thing that I loved about PA homeschoolers was the AP party. They're just a fun group of people. And I remember I have a mood chart. I fill in for different colors of how happy I was that day. On the AP party, I have a 3-day streak of 3 magical days. So it's just, it was just a great experience. The whole entire class, the AP party, the people, and I'm just really proud to be a part of it.
Thank you. And I was going to add a few extra comments at the end, but we are at the end of our time. So I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I didn't even get to speak in the AP teachers session because we ran out of time, but I feel like I didn't need to. Boy, just have people listen to this. And thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for all of you coming and taking part. I think you've all given people a really inspiring look at what taking part in our courses is like. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. And I'm ending this meeting.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.